Okay, today we're going to be looking at some more features of Tinkercad. I'm going to show you the radius tool and then also some easier ways to duplicate shapes and then how you can make a more complex shape doing so. I always like to change the name as soon as I log in. So I'm going to say this is practice 3. And let's say radius and duplicate. Okay. So I'm going to draw a box out here. And I like to just, if you hold shift, or excuse me, and click on one of the white little boxes there, you can change it. So I'm going to make that a 40 millimeter cube. If you just change one side at a time, it keeps it a rectangular prism. So if you hold shift, it'll allow you to change length, width, and height all at once. Okay. If you look up here, there's a radius, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it as I change it. And right now that radius is 0. That's the default. Any straight edge is going to be a really sharp line. And if you think about if you're designing something that might be a toy and young kids are going to play with it, you wouldn't want sharp edges. You'd want it to be smoothed out a little bit. So you can change this radius. And you can see as I do that, it rounds the edges off. Dragging it is just kind of random. So eventually it turns into a sphere. So I'm going to try to put like a radius of 2 on it. Let's see what that does. And that rounds it off pretty good. Okay, so 1 or 2, probably even let you do decimals. And let's see, make that a different color. Okay, so now we've put a smooth edge on there. We'll call that a radius. It does it to every flat edge on there. And you can do that with any shape. We could do that with a cylinder. Another unique feature I want to show you is how to duplicate. Okay, the cylinders actually you can't. You've just got your sides and your bevel. I believe a bevel would probably change that on the top. Yeah, it just affects the top because you don't have a straight edge anywhere on this. So they're using a bevel instead of a radius. Okay. So I'm going to change this to 25. And when you're practicing these, you can make the numbers whatever you want. I just want you to understand how you can change them. You don't have to copy me exactly. So let's say I'm going to use that shape and I'm going to put a cylinder on each corner of this cube. Okay, and I don't want to draw that same cylinder multiple times. All you've got to do, you can hold your Alt button. It's down there by Control and Command on your computers. I'm using a Mac, so it's Alt/Option. Hold that down, click, and drag, and I've duplicated that same cylinder. Okay, keeps it the same color, keeps it the same height, 25, and then the radius is still 20. Okay, so that was Alt, and then just click and drag. If you hold Shift and Alt and drag it out, it keeps it on the same plane. You see, I can only go left to right, or I can go up and down too, but it keeps it in line with it. I can't move it to where it's not in line with the one I started with. Okay? So Alt and Shift for that. And I'm going to make one more. Okay? Let's see if it'll let me move it now. Now, once I've done that, I can move it anywhere. So I've got these basic shapes here, a cube and a cylinder. And let's say I want to just drag these in here. Let me spin it around and look at it. So it's not touching it yet. Top view is probably going to be best for that. And you can do that. If you make one of them a hole, I think you can hold Shift and just click the other ones and turn it to a hole as well. And now I'm going to highlight all those, and I'm just going to make it a group.